saying you got something for me, something you call love, but confess you've been messing where you shouldn't have been messing. Now someone else is getting all your best. These boots are made for walking, that's just what they'll do. One of these days these boots are gonna walk all over you. You keep lying when you ought to be truthing. You keep losing when you ought to not bet. You keep saying when you ought to be a-changing. Now what's right is right, but you ain't been right yet. These boots are made for walking, that's just what they'll do. One of these days these boots are gonna walk all over you. You keep playing where you shouldn't be playing. You keep thinking that you'll never get burnt. I just found me a brand new box of matches, yeah. And what he knows you ain't had time to learn. These boots are made for walking, that's just what they'll do. One of these days these boots are gonna walk all over you. Are you ready, Boots? Well, start walking.
easy way out. Got a good reason for taking the easy way out. She was a day tripper, a one-way ticket, yeah. It took me so long to find out, but I found out. I tried to please her. She only plays one night stands. I tried to please her. She only played one night stands. She was a day tripper, a one-way ticket, yeah. It took me so long to find out, but I found out. Day tripper, day tripper. She's a big teaser. She took me half the way there. She's a big teaser. She took me half the way there. She was a day tripper, a one-way ticket, yeah. It took me so long. It took me so long. It took me so long to find out, but I found out.
Baby, can't you see I'm calling? A guy like you should wear a warning. It's dangerous, I'm calling. There's no escape, I can't wait. I need a hit, baby, give me it. You're dangerous, I'm loving it. Too high, can't come down. Losing my head, spinning round and round. Do you feel me now? Oh, the taste of your lips, I'm on a ride. You're toxic, I'm slipping under the taste of the poison paradise. I'm addicted to you, don't you know that you're toxic? You do, don't you know that you're toxic? getting late to give you up. I took a sip from the devil's cup, and slowly it's taking over me. Too high, can't come down, losing my head, spinning round and round. Do you feel me now? Taste of your lips, I'm on a ride. You're toxic, I'm slipping under the taste of your poison paradise. I'm addicted to you, don't you know that you're toxic? And I love what you do, don't you know that you're toxic? Oh, the taste of your lips, I'm on a ride. You're toxic, I'm slipping under the taste of your poison paradise. I'm addicted to you, don't you know that you're toxic? And I love what you do, don't you know what you're toxic? Intoxicate me now with your loving now. I think I'm ready now. Intoxicate me now with your loving now. I think I'm ready now. I think I'm ready now. Welcome to your life. There's no turning back. Even as you sleep, we will find you acting on your best behavior. Turn your back to Mother Nature. Everybody wants to rule the world. It's my own desire. It's my own remorse. Help me to decide. Help me make the most of freedom and of pleasure. Nothing ever lasts forever. Everybody wants to. There's a room where the light won't find you. Holding hands while the walls come tumbling down. When they do, I'll be right behind you. So glad we almost made it. So sad they had indecision, married with a lack of vision. Everybody wants to say that you never, never, never needed one headline, why believe it? Everybody wants to. Everybody wants to. Everybody wants to.
Ayakwi, hello, and welcome to ACLU of Utah's third annual community block party. While this evening is quite different than what we've done in the past, the goals of the evening remain the same: to celebrate young scholar activists and to hear from other community leaders. We also have the goal, as always, to just be together, have fun, listen to music, and just celebrate all that we've been able to accomplish, even in what is really proving to be difficult and trying times. My name is Roni Jo Draper. I'm the president of the board of the ACLU of Utah. Thankfully, when it comes to fighting the good fight here in Utah, we have fantastic community partners, and we know how to collaborate and work together to do good. And I am super grateful for that. Tonight we are honoring some of those civil liberties heroes, as well as celebrating all of you and all of us who continue to participate in all the ways in the work that is done with the ACLU of Utah. It is more important than ever that we continue to fight on behalf of the voiceless, the marginalized, and the vulnerable. And it is important to realize that any one of us at any given time can find ourselves voiceless, marginalized, and vulnerable. But any one of us can also find ourselves in a place of strength and in a position of power and in a position to help. And so in as much as we're able to help, let's continue to do so. In as much as we're able to fight, let's continue to do so. And that's part of what tonight is about too, is to celebrate what we're able to do because we're a community and because we know how to partner together and because we are unwilling to give up that fight. Let me give you a brief overview of who you're going to hear from this evening. First, we're going to have a blessing from Carl Moore. We're also going to hear from our youth activist scholarship recipients. We're also going to hear from John Harrington, the 2020 Mickey Duncan Award recipient. We're going to hear from the 2020 Torch of Freedom Award recipients, the leadership of Black Lives Matter Utah, Northern Utah, and Southern Utah, Lex Scott, Troy Anderson, Malik, Dayo, Jaccarri Kelly. We're also super blessed to hear from past youth activist, leader, and poet Saida Dahir, and we're going to have the musical talent of Radio Retrograde join us. Our work with these partners and others throughout Utah is integral to the success of the ACLU of Utah and integral to securing the civil liberties of all the residents of people throughout the state. If you're interested in learning more about the work that we do and getting involved in that work, please visit our website at acluutah.org. And so please let me introduce Carl Moore. Carl Moore is Hopi and Chemehuevi and believes that all humans innately have equal worth and value. Carl is a firm believer that every person has qualities and a personality that are divinely unique, and that each person has a moral obligation to give those gifts for the betterment of humanity. Carl is a cultural entertainer and lecturer and has performed all over the globe. Carl majored in political science and minored in American Indian Studies at UVU. Carl is trying to make the world a better place for his 7 children and his granddaughter by uniting peoples of all backgrounds to participate in PANDOS and the Salt Lake City Air Protectors. Please welcome him and all the people who are joining us this evening. Waklau, and thank you.
I'm going to start off with a song. This song is it's a Lakota song, and this song sings to the creator, Wakantanka, or Takashila. Wakantanka is God, and Tonkashila is grandfather. That's the kind of the way that we relate to the creator. So during this, in our indigenous ways, we always like to open with prayers because everything we do should have a prayer in our heart. And when we're praying, we understand and recognize that we are in need and that we are fallible, and that it basically gets us humble, and so we can proceed in a good way. So this song is to the Creator. So feel free to pray during this song, and then after this, I'll also pray. Wakantanka toka heya che waki elo ai mi taku ye op wanik ta cha toka Shela toka heya Che Waki Elo Ai Mitaku Yeo Anik Ta Cha Toka Haya Che Waki Elo Wakantanka Tokashila, Creator. We come here today as your creations, as people gathering online around around this country, and we offer our thanks to you for sending us energy in the form of the sun, and for sending us that water that we get to drink. Creator, we thank you for the air that we breathe. Creator, we thank you for each other and the good work that each other does in our communities. Creator, I thank you for those animals that die for us, that give their life for us so that we can live. Creator, we thank you for the plants that grow, that you help them to grow, that they give themselves to us so that we can eat them, and that they can provide other things for us. Creator, I thank you for our minds, and we ask that you would forgive us for those things that we do wrong. Have mercy on us, have pity on us. Help us to see things in the right way. Help us to see things in a good way so that we can proceed in a good way. Creator, give you thanks for those people who are doing the good work out there. They're doing good work to fight for humanity, to fight for our environment, to fight for just wellness as a whole, for our whole environment as people, and as an ecosystem. Creator, I want to pray blessings, especially upon those people who are out there, who are hurting, who are scared, who are fearful. I pray for them, for those people who are anxious, who have anxiety. Pray for those people who have depression. I pray that all of these people, whatever their struggles are, that they can have strength, that you can send your strength to them, that you can be their strength, that you can be there, even when they don't know that you're there, that you can be there lifting them up. Creator, I want to pray blessings on those families who are missing loved ones right now, whether they're missing loved ones because of death, or because they have been stolen, or because of estrangement. Creator, I pray for them that they can feel some kind of a love in their heart, and that they can feel some kind of, or they can feel your compassion, that they can get through these times. Give them strength to get through these times. Creator, I want to pray for those people who are out there right now at this moment, who who have been trafficked, who have been stolen, who are doing things against their will. Creator, I pray for them that they can that their minds can somehow help them to get through this thing, and hopefully that when we find them, that they're found, that somehow that they can be relieved of those stresses. Creator, that reminds me of those people with PTSD that have PTSD right now, whether that's from military service or other kinds of PTSDs of abuse, of domestic abuse, or whatever that is, whatever those violence is. Creator, I pray for them at this time. Creator, I pray that you would give them strength to endure these things, and also kind of give them a good future, a good hope, point them in the direction that they need to go. And Creator, help us that we can be answers to prayers for those people. Help us that we can be the answers to prayers of our ancestors. Help us that we can be the answers to prayers of our loved ones. Creator, help us to know, who those people are that need our help, and help us to, listen to that, and we can help those people. Creator, I give you thanks for my life, and for the life of all of these people, these people who are doing good things that are going to be recognized tonight, Creator. So with that, I honor you, and I say this in your name, Mataka Yasin, all my relations.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Sarah Vaugh. I'm honored to be a member of the Board of Directors at the ACLU of Utah, and also the founder of Melanin Squad. I'm excited to introduce our 2020 Youth Scholarship Activist Award winners. I'd like to congratulate 4 accomplished young women: Ria Agarwal from Rowland Hall, Emory Bouffard from Academy of Math, Science, and Engineering, Dulce Horn from Rowland Hall, Ainsley Moench from Skyline High School. Congratulations. Some of these amazing accomplishments that these young 4 women have achieved over the past few years are remarkable. Leading school-wide discussions on race and discrimination, serving as chair of March for Our Lives, interning at Comunidades Unidas as the voter empowerment organizer, and acting as restorative justice panelist and peer mentor for Salt Lake City Peer Court. On behalf of the ACLU of Utah Board of Directors and staff, we are inspired and excited to see what wonderful things these graduates will accomplish in the years to come. We look forward to fighting alongside them for civil rights here in Utah. Thank you to our selection committee, who dedicates time each year to review applications and works together to support young community activists. Thank you to the generous supporters who allow us to continue to lift up the next generation of civil rights activists. Over the next few minutes, we will hear from these 4 students chosen for their inspirational work and standing up for the civil liberties in their schools and communities. Thank you.
My name is Ria Agarwal. I am 17 years old and I am a senior at Rowland Hall High School. I'm really interested in social justice issues and how they pertain to race. And so in my school, I started an Asian affinity group a couple years ago. We were able to hold and plan a bunch of dinner and dialogues, which are basically just school-wide events that discussed race and ethnicity. And we were also able to have one-on-one conversations with the administration, which I felt was really empowering for me personally. I've also been exploring racial justice issues outside of my school. So I volunteered at the Salt Lake City Refugee Center, and one of the things I did here was volunteering in the Makers Club and Gardening Club, and this was basically just teaching children how to do things like crochet and build glass mosaics, and basically skills that they could use to make money in the real world. And lastly, I've also been interested in feminine issues, and so last year I researched and published an op-ed about the tampon tax in Utah. I think a civil liberties activist is someone who actively challenges the status quo, and I think that creating social change can also be very exhausting, and so I also think that a civil liberties activist needs to be somebody who really embodies perseverance. They will acknowledge that society is imperfect, but won't let these imperfections slow them down. I think a common notion about civil liberties is that if one person is protesting or writing to the legislature or even voting, that nothing's really going to change. And I think that if a lot of people believe this, then instead of what could have become a really powerful grassroots movement, it's just now a self-fulfilling cycle of hopelessness, really. So I think that I need to, and I think that everyone really needs to take action for issues that they really believe in. Otherwise, there won't be really anyone left to fight for our civil liberties. Generally, what I want to see of the entire world is that I hope that kindness and advocacy isn't situational or dependent on something happening. All activists, including myself, should be working towards building a world where the progress is legitimate.
My name is Emory Bouffard. I am 17 years old, and I go to the Academy for Math, Engineering, and Science. To me, being an activist is essentially complaining a lot. That's an extremely blunt way of stating it, but an activist is supposed to bring complaints to light. I think it's important to take action to preserve civil liberties because civil liberties is an extremely vital tool that people use in making big changes. The greatest thing that I've done is register people to vote, because that's such a direct way to make people exercise their civil liberties. Registering to vote and voting alone is exercising a civil liberty. Some of my successes have been talking with Senator Reeby about some changes to a sex education bill. I think that simply having a senator, having representatives, or having someone vote that can make a difference, and having them talk to people, myself and other young people, on that issue is a really big success. And also, I think when I was registering homeless people to vote in Salt Lake City, I only was able to register 3 people. But for me, it was really impactful to see their reaction figuring out that they have the ability to vote. I mean, I think that right now, to me, to be first-time voter, it's really impactful. I think specifically the time period that we're living in, we're really starting to see young people step up and make political change on their own. Movements are being led by young people. And I think that voting is just one way that I can make a difference. But casting my ballot was something that's really powerful because young people are so often like saying that they're not active enough or like they should stop complaining because they aren't doing anything about it. I mean, voting is kind of testament to the fact that we are doing something. I think that anybody can be an activist as long as they're actively making a difference in something they believe in.
My name is Dulce Horn. I'm 18 years old and I go to Rowland Hall. I was 8 when I started working with a nonprofit, Safe Passage in Guatemala, that helps families whose income comes from the Guatemala City dump as recyclers. And then I transitioned into immigrant rights here in the United States. I've worked as an English as a second language teacher. I've worked with impoverished children who are marginalized up in northern Utah in Ogden with the YMCA there. I worked as a preschool teacher there. And then, of course, I have worked with Comunidades Unidas, Communities United. I started there as a volunteer in 2018 as part of the voter registration campaign, Vota por Dos, Vote for Two, which tries to empower Latinxes to get out to vote. I plan on majoring in global and cultural studies with an emphasis for pre-law. I want to go into immigration law as a way to give back to my community again. I feel that there's so much need right now with the humanitarian crisis from Central America, a place that I call home. I'm not going to sit around. I'm going to use my education to give back to that community again. Being a civil liberties activist is having the ability to fight for all rights, for all humans, regardless of any barriers that might come across. To me, it isn't having an ability or having power over anybody else, but it's using the power that we all have to fight.
My name is Ainsley Moench. I'm 17 years old and I'm a senior at Skyline High School. I started a club called the We Talk Club at my school, and the premise of the club is having open educational conversations about different issues that are impacting our political climate. So we talk about issues such as transgender issues, we talked about climate change, we talked about gun reform, things like that are very impactful for high schoolers. Other things I've done to demonstrate that I'm a civil liberties activist is I am the chair of March for Our Lives Utah. What we do is we are a teen group that works with the legislature and fights for gun reform. And I'm also a member of Teen Council at Planned Parenthood. I go to different high schools and I'm a peer educator, which means I'm teaching classes on healthy relationships, comprehensive sex ed, information that all high schoolers should be able to learn. Community activism is one of the most rewarding things that I've been able to do. Knowing that I have a place in democracy, that I've been able to share my opinions with people and have people listen, is really the most wonderful experience of my life. A lot of times, youth aren't being listened to. And there's a lot of systematic things in place that make it so youth aren't being listened to, and so you have to make sure that you are doing things to make sure your voice is being heard and demanding that your voice is being heard. I'm lucky because I'm able to put time away to do this work when others aren't, and so I really hope for a world where everyone has the opportunity to voice their opinions and we're not burdened by privilege or discrimination. What I hope for the future is that a lot more people wake up and realize that we can have change. A lot of the reasons why bad things are happening in this country is because our lawmakers and the people that we elect are not hearing from their constituents. They're not hearing from the common everyday people. And if we put energy into electing the right people and making sure they're held accountable, then we'll be able to change so many things.
I have the great honor of presenting the Mickey Duncan Award to John Harrington. This award is named for one of the founders of the ACLU of Utah, Mickey Duncan, who was an attorney and two-term state senator who fought injustices against minorities, worked for the separation of church and state, advocated for the abolishment of the death penalty, and proposed legislation making it illegal for public accommodations to refuse to serve people because of their gender, race, or religion. This award is given to attorneys who share Mickey Duncan's commitment to civil liberties and the protection of individual freedoms. John Harrington of Holland and Hart is a no-brainer choice for this award. John has been our long-time, dogged partner in our efforts aimed at improving the public defense system in Utah. It was about 5 years ago that the ACLU of Utah approached John and his team at Holland and Hart looking for attorneys up to the incredible challenge of convincing the state and counties to truly live up to their constitutional duty to provide effective representation to people charged with crimes who cannot afford an attorney. From the moment John and his firm signed on, he and his team have brought an incredible amount of focus, energy, and enthusiasm to the cause. And for anybody who has worked with John, you'll know that he has filled up many a whiteboard with flowcharts that literally captured this focus, energy, and enthusiasm. John has become an expert on all things public defense in Utah, from being able to recall certain provisions in a county's contract with its public defenders, to getting to know personally people who have been impacted by the system's imperfections. John's knowledge of the area has been matched by his passion for the subject. As John sometimes says, there's nothing worse than a convert. And John has become a convert to the idea that people in the criminal justice system deserve a fair shot and a dedicated lawyer. For the past 5 years, John has worked tirelessly with us to advance this cause. While perhaps our most notable effort was the class action lawsuit that we filed in federal court against the state, demanding that it live up to its duties to indigent defendants, John has done an incredible amount of work behind the scenes with us to advance the issue. One day we'll be driving to Ogden to argue that county records on public defense should be released under the state records law, and the next we'll be sitting next to John at a legislative hearing on public defense, and the next we'll be on a conference call with an out-of-state firm looking for our insights on Utah's system. If you squint hard enough, you'll definitely see a public interest attorney when you look at John in those moments. And while court cases are hard and don't always come out as we hope, we believe that John and his team's efforts with us have helped make considerable advances in Utah. At the time John joined our team, the state of Utah spent no money and played no role to speak of in providing public defense. Since then, there has been state legislation establishing a statewide indigent defense committee that provides state grant money to state monies to counties to improve their system. It is difficult to imagine that these events would have been possible without the efforts by dedicated advocates like John. On top of all the great works for civil rights that John does, he's also a great person. Everyone in our office looks forward to meetings with John, not just for the substantive work we do together, but for his incredible sense of humor and generous spirit. John has the rare skill of making gentle ribbing seem like a compliment, and being able to take, not just dish, on that ribbing. The ACLU of Utah is proud to call John a partner, and I am glad to call him a friend. Congratulations on the Mickey Duncan Award, John.
Hi everyone, my name is Niki Venugoal. I am the Voting Rights Coordinator here at the ACLU of Utah. I also have the privilege of being out in the community, working with different community leaders and members to fight for civil rights and justice. I also today get the privilege and honor of announcing the Torch of Freedom Award recipients for this year. So every year, the ACLU of Utah awards the Torch of Freedom to outstanding civil rights leaders and community members fighting for change here in Utah. And the people I'm about to announce are incredible individuals, are prominent community leaders who have been doing the hard work on the ground every day, not just this year, but for so many years past. They've been fighting hard for racial justice, for civil rights and liberty. And so I am honored to be able to announce that this year's recipient of the Torch of Freedom Award go to the leadership of the Black Lives Matter chapters here in Utah, Lex Scott, Malik Dayo, Jaccarri Kelly, and Troy Anderson. Congratulations, you all deserve this award more than I can possibly say. It's my honor to be out in the community with you. I just came from a protest organized by Black Lives Matter leadership, and it was incredible and powerful. And it is thanks to their work that we are seeing progress here in Utah. So our team is honored to stand with the Black Lives Matter Utah chapter leadership here in Utah in the fight for civil rights and liberty and racial justice.
Thank you to the ACLU for this award that you're giving to us. We obviously don't do this for the awards, but I want to personally thank the ACLU for being here my entire activist career. There was a woman that worked for the ACLU named Anna Brower who mentored me when I started in activism. Since that time, the ACLU has provided legal observers for our protests, Know Your Rights trainings, Know Your Rights brochures, helped us register inmates to vote, provided advice, just every resource we could imagine. It always makes me emotional. I mean, I don't think there's anything that doesn't make me emotional, but the ACLU, they've been this constant support and constant partner for Black Lives Matter. When the world didn't care about Black Lives Matter, the ACLU did. I'm supposed to talk about what we do here. So we hold a summer camp for Black children every summer when there's not a pandemic. We hold a ski camp to teach Black children how to ski. We are opening a mobile Black History Museum. We registered inmates to vote in 3 jails, and the ACLU came in this year to help us register inmates to vote. We help domestic violence victims. We provide suicide prevention trainings and white ally trainings. There is a worker at the ACLU named Sid who is just one of my heroes, who is helping train the allies. She took it upon herself. She saw, wow, the movement blew up and these white allies don't know what they're doing. So Sid is helping with that. What else do we do around here, guys? We do implicit bias trainings, diversity trainings. We go into the school and do education for youth about the movement. Now we're educating people in workplaces, drug treatment centers, and now we just started our mental health committee, so we're going to be taking the members on hikes and doing group therapy and working on self-care initiatives. We rented out Snowbird for Black children for the day. We rented out 2 theaters for Black Panther, a theater for A Wrinkle in Time, a theater for Whose Streets, a theater for Harriet, a theater for Spider-Verse. I was going to rent out a theater for Antebellum, but then the pandemic came, so we have to postpone that for a while, but we'll be back on our feet soon enough. We meet with police to work on police reform. We meet with legislators to work on police reform. We wrote a police reform bill, and we're kind of pushing qualified immunity reform, police misconduct databases, data collection, independent civilian review boards that have the power to investigate and bring charges against police, body cam footage regulation, dash cam footage regulation, less than lethal weapons. We want less than lethal weapons in every car. And also, we want the funds that are allocated to police departments for the militarization of police departments to be reallocated to social services. That's another thing we do. We give ice water to the homeless. We provide groceries for Black refugees. And we'd like, in the winter, we give tarps to the homeless. I think I'm going too long here. I'll just talk forever. Well, there shouldn't have to be a Black Lives Matter movement. Our lives matter. We never said our lives mattered more or the most. We said that our lives mattered because they do. And this country doesn't treat us like our lives matter. We need to end the school-to-prison pipeline, the system of mass incarceration, pay inequity, inequality in housing and employment, and obviously police brutality. Police can no longer be allowed to murder Black people in this country without being held accountable for their actions. And when we walk through the streets, we need to be able to hold our heads high, knowing that we have beautiful skin and a beautiful culture and a beautiful history that should be preserved and protected at all times, in every space, in every situation. And until that happens, there will be a Black Lives Matter movement, and we'll be hanging out with the ACLU. So thank you again. It's an honor. Thank you for the award.
My name is Troy Anderson. I am the leader of the Southern Utah chapter for Black Lives Matter. We just launched the chapter February of 2020. Our goal is to create a environment or a community where inclusiveness is the norm. We support Black Lives Matter Utah, and we support Black Lives Matter Northern Utah. We are united with them in the fight for human rights. This is a human rights issue for us, and we just are wanting to build relationships right now in our community to address these issues, so that we will have a community that will let those who are not down with inclusion know that that's not acceptable. Once again, I want to make it clear that we do realize that there will be those that don't want that, and we're not going to sit up and try to beg them or plead with them to change their ways. They're welcome to those attitudes and those belief systems if they so choose, but we also are here to let them know that this community is ours just as much as it is theirs, because we're citizens of this country and are privy to the same rights and equal treatment under the law that our Constitution states. The work that I do is based on getting out in the community, meeting with Black people, meeting with other people of color, but especially Black people, and finding out what their issues are. So I'm more of a mouthpiece, if you will, for the Black community for Southern Utah. So that's the life of an activist, constantly learning, constantly listening, constantly looking for ways to have solutions that are effective and that are long-lasting. I believe the greater majority of people in this community, this state of Utah, want equality and inclusion for all. That is a firm belief that I have. We just have to get our message out and let them realize that what we're trying to do will benefit everyone, not just Black people and other people of color. We will support any other people of color and other people that are marginalized. But our commitment is to black people right now, but we will advocate for any other group that supports us, and eventually our goal is to get to a point where it's a community advocacy group that's out here working to bring inclusion. That's one of our goals.
Hello everyone, my name is Malik and I'm a community activist here in Ogden, Utah. I'm also el presidente of el Comité Social Justice Movement, where our motto is Voces en Acción, or Voices into Action. I've also been a very staunch supporter of the Black Lives Matter movement for years, and I will continue to do so in the future. I'm very honored today to be receiving the Torch of Freedom Award from the ACLU. Very thankful for the ACLU support over the years. I also want to thank everybody who's been part of this movement and everybody who's helped me out over the years. So once again, thank you to the ACLU for giving me this honor. It's very appreciated, and I'm very thankful for your support and the support of everyone else in the movement. Thank you.
Congratulations, ACLU's 2020 scholarship recipients. As a 2019 recipient myself, I can just say that this award will carry you a long way. Hello, my name is Saida Dahir. I'm a 19-year-old student. I go to UC Berkeley and use she, her pronouns. Today, I would just like to acknowledge the wonderful people that have received this award this year and to say that I'm so proud of you. Right now is a crazy time. We're going through something unprecedented, a virus that has caused so much trouble and hardships, but you still made it. You graduated high school, you're going to college, and we are so, so proud of you. Along with the virus, there is another deadly virus in our community. That is the one of racism. I would like to dedicate my next speech and my next poems to Breonna Taylor and Bernardo Palacio and Toyin and George Floyd. Names that you probably are so familiar with. Names that you've probably heard over and over and over again, that were brutally killed by the systems that were supposed to be put into place to protect them. I want you to use your education, to use your knowledge, to use the scholarship to make sure you can go out there and make the world a better place, one voice at a time. My first poem is called Justified. A justification to the things we're told over and over and over again by mainstream media. When a black man cries, the whole world doesn't fill with grief. When a white man cries, the whole world fills with grief. When a white man cries, the whole world griefs alongside. And when a black man cries, they say he's overreacting and just push it aside. Our stories have been hidden and there is nothing to say. We're subtitles while some get the whole cover page. Their history is preserved while ours is forgotten in age. Their achievements published while ours are just backstage. They're free birds while we're still stuck in our ropes and cage. Did you know that in America, a black person is twice as likely to be killed unarmed by the police? Can't you see we traded our chains for a different kind of leash? We're afraid for our brothers, sisters, nephews, and nieces, but if we stop seeing color, it'll all lead to world peace. What kind of bullshit is that? I do not deserve to listen to your I have black friends chit-chat like my struggles are just one-sided, empty, and flat. We've been told to go back to our countries, go back to our lands. Our people have been beaten, broken, and banned. Did history repeat itself when they elected that man? So tell me, Are our struggles not justified? How many more Palestinians do we have to see die before our eyes? Are our struggles not justified? Where black people are killed daily as we watch and stand by, and immigrants are ripped out of their homes and their torture is glorified? When will our struggles finally be justified? When will we be seen more than just dollar signs? When will we finally be justified? Although there is so much hardship and ache in this world, us, the youth, the movements, the faces of the future can change this. We have done so much. Gen Z alone. We pranked Trump and sold out his entire stadium and left it empty. We utilized Twitter and TikTok and all of these other things to make sure our voices are heard. The youth are the face of the movements, the face of the change, the face of the revolution. And I'm so proud of you for seeing that and for making the first step by pursuing an education that a lot of people take for granted. I'm a Somali refugee. And in my country, oftentimes children do not have the luxuries of seeing or going or stepping inside of academia. So I use my privilege. I use the privilege that I have living in the United States to make sure my voice is heard. The next poem is about the thing that me and you love, education. As you may know, there's a thing in our country called the travel ban that restricts countries from access to education, from access to immigration. And my country is one of the countries on the ban. Dear Mr. President, in some countries, children can't even go to school. And here, we have the audacity to sit in class and drool. So many children wish for an education with no limitation, but they live in a nation where little boys learn about war way before they learn their ABCs, while their families are thirsty and dying of disease. And when those bombs drop, there's nowhere left to flee. Are you too blind to even see clearly? Little girls are forced to learn how to cook and clean, but they don't even know how to read. Bounded to child marriages, well, they will never be free. Our countries are starving, and our blood is oozing down the street. Mothers lose their children to conflict and violence. Mainstream media turns their head away in silence. We see their cries for help as a sign of defiance. Their bones are breaking from all this burden. Their skin is glass from all this hurting. For us, 1 + 1 = 2, but for them, 1 bomb + 1 bomb equals destruction. 1 missile + 1 missile equals massive reconstruction, and 1 drone + 1 drone equals more obstruction. They are stranded alone, with no one who will avenge. They hear loud explosions again and again. But all these children are wishing for is a paper and a pen. So thank you. And please utilize the paper and the pen right in front of you. Utilize the scholarship, utilize your education, and continue to go out there. Continue to fight for the change. Continue to be the faces of the revolution. I am so proud of you. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Brittney Nystrom, and I'm the Executive Director of the ACLU of Utah. Thank you to Saida and to everyone who's participated this evening. I hope you have all found our featured community leaders and activists as inspiring as I have. In today's challenging times, we all need hope and inspiration, and tonight's participants have provided that in abundance. To our audience of friends, members, and supporters, on behalf of the Board of Directors and the staff of the ACLU of Utah, I want to pass on our gratitude for your continued support. Now, more than ever, we have to continue to stand together to fight for civil rights of all Utahns. Although this year looks different from previous block parties, we must remember that we are all in this fight together. Thank you to the B.W. Bastian Foundation and the generous supporters who continue to make this block party possible. Thank you for joining us tonight and for being with us in the ongoing fight for civil rights, and for being alongside us as we continue to seek justice, fairness, civil rights, and civil liberties for each and every person in Utah. As we close out our program for the evening, please sit back and enjoy some music from Radio Retrograde. Thank you.
No satisfaction. I can't get no satisfaction. And I try, and I try, and I try, and I try. I can't get no, I can't get no. When I'm driving in my car and the man comes on the radio, he's telling me more and more about some useless information, supposed to find my imagination. Well, I can't get no, I can't get no. Hey, hey, hey. I can't get no satisfaction. I can't get no satisfaction. And I try, and I try, and I try, and I try. I can't get no, I can't get no. Hey, hey, hey. When I'm watching my TV and the man comes on and tells me how my shirt can be, but he can't be a man 'cause he doesn't smoke the same cigarettes as me. Well, I can't get no, I can't get no. Hey, hey, hey. I can't get no satisfaction. I can't get no satisfaction. And I try, and I try, and I try, and I try. I can't get no, I can't get no, I can't get no, I can't get no satisfaction. Satisfaction, satisfaction. Hey, hey, hey. Told what it means to be a man. Now I've reached that age when I try to do those things the best I can. No matter how I try, I find my way into those same old days. Good times, bad times, you know I've had my share. When my woman left home with a brown-eyed man, but I still don't seem to care. 16, I fell in love with a girl as sweet as can be.
took a couple days till she was rid of me. Swore that she would be a man and love me till the end. When I whispered in her ear, I lost another friend. Good times, bad times, you know I've had my share. When my woman left home for a bright-eyed man, but I still don't seem to care. My share. When a woman left home with a bright-eyed man, but I still don't seem to care. Good times, bad times, you know I've had my share. When my woman left home with a bright-eyed man, but I still don't seem to care. Was told what it means to be a man. Now I've reached that age, I try to do all those things the best I can. No matter how I try to find my way into that same old jam. You know I've had my share. When my woman left home for a bright-eyed man, but I still don't seem to care. 16, I fell in love with a girl as sweet as can be. Only took a couple days till she was rid of me. Swore that she would be a man and love me till the end. When I whispered in her ear, I lost another friend. Good times, bad times, you know I've had my share. When my woman left home with a bright-eyed man, but I still don't seem to care. I've had my share. When my woman left home with a bright-eyed man, but I still don't seem to care. Good times, bad times, you know I've had my share. When my woman left home with a burnt-out man, but I still don't see